Harry's wife. Desperation. I do love him. As I've repeatedly explained to you, and I know this because I'm one myself, that the narcissist doesn't love anybody because we have no emotional empathy. We, of course, have our version, if you will, of love, which is one which has created romance, whereby it's all about the shiny, glittery stuff rather than the fundamentals that make a relationship work. And this, of course, has then bled into the mainstream. Harry's wife's narcissism causes her to believe that she loves the Prince of Pink Pancakes, and thus causes her to behave in a particular way to assert control over him, by showing flattery, false compassion, bribery, etc., drawing those character traits from him, residual benefits, and of course that all-important fuel. But she doesn't actually. Her conduct and behaviour demonstrates that she doesn't, in terms of the way that she has devalued him and the way that she's treated his family and friends. Of course, if you were to tell her that she doesn't love him, she will suggest that you don't know her, that you don't know the nature of their relationship, as her narcissism repeatedly denies the allegation that you put to her. As the hermetically sealed self-defense mechanism that it is, it will not allow you to encroach and suggest that she doesn't love him. However, one can demonstrate that that is the case as a consequence of 1. Knowing what she is, namely a narcissist, and 2. Simply by examining her behaviour. Furthermore, another aspect of it is the necessity by which she feels that she has to keep telling us or showing us that she loves him. If you love somebody, it's between you and that person. The rest of the world doesn't want to know, and certainly doesn't need to know. But too often, people, through relationship bulletins, share their love with the rest of the world. There are, of course, non-narcissists who engage in that as a consequence of their mistaken belief and their herd mentality, that they see other people posting on social media about how brilliant their relationship, how much in love they are, and they don't want to miss out. They want other people to know that they're in love too, because that's special and important to them. Ordinarily, they wouldn't be moved to broadcast it to the world, but they see others doing it, often led by narcissists, and therefore it creates in them a need to do so because they think, well, if everybody else is doing it, so should I, the herd mentality of human beings. Of course, there are many who are narcissists who engage in these relationship bulletins, which is primarily done to control the recipient or the subject of the relationship bulletin. See, my dear, I'm telling the whole world how marvellous you are. Oh gosh, I feel so special that you're telling everybody about our relationship, thus causing that individual to be brought under control and respond with fuel. It also, of course, allows the assertion of control over secondary sources. Oh, good for you, mate, you've got a great girl there. Oh, I'm so happy for you that you found him, etc. And thus fuel is received from those secondary sources and tertiary sources that see the proclamations on social media. It can in certain instances also be done, although this isn't invariably the primary purpose, to extract negative fuel from an ex by flaunting the replacement in front of them. Primarily, however, it is done towards the subject of the relationship bulletin, i.e. the newly acquired intimate partner primary source. Harry's wife, as you know, is having a torrid time of it. Spare has demonstrated that her husband's a fuckwit and that she has got her sticky paws all over that Burke. She's been ridiculed by South Park, ridiculed by Chris Rock, other comedians joining in on this, and the whole reporting of this, both across mainstream media and social media, means that she is basically a joke person these days. She's launched a counter-offensive with the recent PR puff pieces and the attempts to suggest that, hey, look, why don't we all talk about the fact that my son and daughter are prince and princess, and we can forget about all the ridicule that I've been experiencing. And she's at it again, utilising one of the lieutenants, Jack Royston from Newsweek, who has facilitated a PR puff piece by bringing up the past with Harry's wife comforting Prince Harry after Prince William text goes viral. Yes, referencing something that was shown in the Shitflick series, which was only a matter of 2 or 3 months ago, and is now being brought up again in order to demonstrate that she is kind and she is loving and that Prince William is a bit of a bastard. Prince Harry's emotional reaction to a text message from Prince William was captured by the makers of their shit flick show in footage that has gone viral on TikTok. Cameras were with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in the dramatic moments after Queen Elizabeth II issued a statement in reaction to their interview with Oprah Winfrey, in which she famously said, "Recollection may vary." In episode 6 of Harry and Harry's Wife, the couple were together, invariably the case, in what appears to be the office of their Monty Shit Show mansion, while the Duchess had their friend Tyler Perry on speakerphone. The Prince then showed her his phone screen, which was displaying a message not visible to the cameras. "What am I looking at?" "Wow," Harry's wife said. She then turned back to her call and told Perry, "H just got a text from his brother. Objectification, oversharing. Why does Tyler Perry need to know about a family thing?" But of course, Harry's wife has to make a scene because there are cameras there and she has to make it dramatic. In fact, with Harry's wife, she acts as if cameras surround her all of the time. That soundtrack to the film of her life playing in her head. Thereafter, Harry says, "I wish I knew what to do," which is probably something he says regularly, particularly when he sat on the toilet having dropped off a log or two. Harry's wife replied, "I know, let's take a breather, get some air and then decide." Oh, wow, such sage advice. That's probably going to find its way onto the tick, the resurrected version of the Tig, as no doubt part of her fridge magnet shittitudes. Harry's wife then gives Harry a long hug, which just so happens to be fortunately picked up on a camera, so the rest of the world can see that she really does love him, as the pair take a moment to process the content of the text message, which remains a secret to this day. It probably said, "Harry, you're being a knobhead. Give me a call." The footage resurfaced 4 months on in a TikTok video that has gone viral with close to 1 million views and 23.9 thousand likes. The footage appears with the caption, "Harry's wife giving H a big hug after he received the harsh text. How do you know it was harsh?" Nobody knows what was in it. You don't. You're just assuming. From his brother Prince William, shows her love for her mans. Use English correctly, you fucking fool. In the show, Harry's wife reads Perry the Queen's statement in full, which said, "The whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years have been for Harry and Harry's wife. The issues raised, particularly that of race, are concerning. While some recollections may vary, they are taken very seriously and will be addressed by the family privately. Harry, Harry's wife and Archie will always be much loved family members." Of course, we see here that Harry's wife has to ensure that the moment is picked up on the cameras, and therefore giving this hug. Ordinarily, wouldn't happen. Why? She would only need to do it if she was asserting control over Harry, and in this instance, it's done more for the cameras to demonstrate by virtue of her facade. See how I love him? See how I hug him? See, I am a kind person, aren't I? And thus, it's picked up on the cameras, and it wouldn't surprise me if Harry's wife has orchestrated the reappearance of this footage in order to try and shore up her tanking popularity now. She utilises this as a means to try and nullify the repeated threats to control that she's experiencing from the various Mickey-taking that's taking place in respect of her. Here, the past is brought up. It's used for facade management, it's used to nullify the threat to control, and it once again demonstrates that nothing is sacred or private with Harry's wife. Everything is up for grabs to be displayed, broadcast and shared. Typical behaviour of a mid-range narcissist. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.